What's up, you knuckleheads? It's Josh here, and we are back with another TFT tier list, the first one of set 8. Just like I've done in previous sets, this tier list is based off of not my opinion, but the opinion of 6 different data sites, along with 3 different expert opinions ratings of these comps. So without further ado, let's see what these experts think are the best comps to be playing to start set 8. Surprisingly, the first tier list of set 8 actually has a lot of variance to the S tier. We do have one high roll comp in the Oxforce Aphelios comp. We also have 2 4-star based comps with Renegade Viego and LaserCorp Duelist Zed, but we also have a slow roll comp, the Zoe Gadgeteer comp that I talked about in my 5 essential comps of set 8 video. There's also a reroll Ash LaserCorp comp that is actually doing very well. I've actually been trying it out a little bit myself, and it can be extremely dominant in the early game, although it does fall off late like most hyper roll comps do. Beyond that, just looking at overall trends for the start of set 8, sure shots we can see are very strong in the early part of this set. Both Aphelios and Samira have multiple comps in the S and A tiers. Mecha Prime is another trait that really seems to be standing out early in the set. In particular, comps like Mecha Prime, Jax, and Draven have been standing out early. There are some opportunities for Spellslinger comps, in particular the Gadgeteer Zoe, Star Guardian Talia, and surprisingly a reroll Lux comp that has really stood out. Some traits that haven't really stood out early in set 8 include Threats, which are very popular, but I think are a little bit overrated. Anima Squad, which was one of my favorites during the PvE preview, but it doesn't seem to be doing well early on. Defenders, Star Guardians in general, and Super Duelists, which was one of my other comps that you should be looking out for in set 8. It'll probably get buffed and be strong later on down the road, but right now in patch 12.23, it's probably not something you want to be playing very often. So I have 3 comps in the S tier that I'm going to be breaking down as part of the comps of the patch. And these are comps that are separate from the 5 comps that are essential for set 8 that I broke down before the set began. First up, we have Renegade Oxforce Viego. Now this is a comp that is a pretty standard fast 8 comp. You just want to get to Viego as quickly as possible. You don't need to really be rolling for Annies or Vi's or Alistars. You want to get that 6 Oxforce so that you can get that extra attack speed and that invulnerability, especially on your Viego, who kinda counterintuitively wants to use both AD and AP items. As far as augments, obviously for the hero augment, you really want to find one that's either going to be Viego-centric or one that's just going to help your comp as a whole. Anything that's going to get you the Oxforce or the Renegade's heart or crown is going to be very good for you. Otherwise, Battle Mage is probably one that you want to invest into, as it's going to give a lot of damage to those frontline carries, including Viego. And after that, Celestial Blessing or Thrill of the Hunt are going to be good options as well. Next up is the LaserCorp Zed comp. Now, I did break down a Duelist comp in the preamble to set 8, but that was focused more around hyper-rolling the Fioras and the Yasuos. In this comp, you really want to do a fast 8 and just push for Zed items. As you can see, he uses a decent mix of AD and attack speed items, so you can really do whatever you want on Zed. As far as hero augments, obviously if you can get one for Zed, that is great, but there's also a supportive augment for Vayne and for Yasuo, particularly for Vayne, the one's called Into the Night, I believe, and if you have an Edge of Night, it's going to buff you and your ally up by giving them attack speed, so that's going to be really good on Zed if you can't manage to find one that's just going to directly buff Zed. Beyond that, just getting like Duelist Crest is going to be good for you, but also Thrill of the Hunt is going to be good on this. Ice Edge, Celestial Blessing, and Orin Forge are also going to be good options for this comp. And last but not least, let's take a look at that super reroll Ash comp. Now, the most common variation, and the one I'm showing on screen, is actually 3 supers. In my opinion, you can easily drop the Lee Sin and Malphite if you wanted to just go full 6 LaserCorp. That's a good option, especially later in the game when you have to transition. But this is a great comp early on. If you can hit a lot of Ashes, she's extremely powerful. And if you can't manage to hit 3 stars on her, a lot of her items transfer over to Zed very easily. For augments, obviously you want one that directly buffs Ash or Zed, but also Ash has a supportive augment that gives her entire team attack speed, doubled when her ability is up, so that can be really helpful. And Yasuo also has a supportive augment that is going to give your entire team attack speed, so that's a good one to have as well. For the other augments, Featherweights and Preparation are both going to be good options because you are hyper rolling. Celestial Blessing, Scoped Weapons are also going to be good options if you are leaning into the Ash very heavily. So go ahead, try all these comps out, see which one was working better for you, and let me know in the comments what your goal rank is for set 8. Good luck climbing, knuckleheads. I'll see you at the top. Peace.